Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sprites of Life podcast. I'm Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Don.
Happy to have the three of us together. How y'all been doing? What's up?
Getting ready for
Pretty
Pokemon
good,
Champions.
Pretty good.
Yeah, no, this is literally a podcast episode to kill time before 11 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm excited to see where Champions goes. I'm really hoping it goes well, but I have my hesitations. I guess we'll get into that later. But I've been watching the news recently, and admittedly, poor choice. But in between all the horror, I think everyone's kind of forgotten a little bit about space until the Artemis 2 started launching.
Everyone was like, oh yeah, I guess we want to go to space.
You know, it was weird. People didn't even know what the mission was for. Like, you were like, are they landing on the moon? Are they going around the moon? Like, people didn't know until it launched. People were like, oh yeah. I don't know. It felt weird. Didn't it feel weird? I mean, like,
I'm
when I
gonna
was
be honest, I'm not 100% sure what the overall goal was.
okay, so I'll talk about it a bit more in our science section, but it did bring up another bit of news that I'll talk about in a bit. Also got me thinking about how we promised ourselves that we would talk about one specific gaming franchise that, even though it didn't exactly go well in recent years, y'all, I figure with all this space stuff, let's just pull the band-aid. Let's just talk about Mass Effect.
Yeah.
The worst part is I feel like that could have been like 4 different franchises up until you said Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah. But no, honestly, Mass Effect, they made 3 pretty awesome games. Then there was the 4th one. And now they're trying to course correct, and we're getting a TV show, and a whole lot of stuff is going on. But I figure for the youngins who are listening, if you get a chance to play Mass Effect, you will understand why there are so many people who say, no, wait, give BioWare another chance. Because those games are some of the finest bit of space sci-fi nonsense that you'll ever play.
It's like one of my all-time like franchises.
It's so good. It's a fantastic series. And best of all, it has a bunch of sciencey stuff that we get to talk about, especially biology, because they did not skimp on the critters. But as far as science news goes, I do want to talk a bit about Artemis 2's mission because I thought it was pretty cool. So, Chris, you said you have no clue what the mission is actually for, right?
Yeah, I do not.
Okay, so little background. This is the first crewed mission to the moon in any capacity since 1972, at least by the United States. I can't speak for any other country. The Artemis 2 is part of what's called the Artemis program. It's this campaign to get us onto the moon. The plan is for the Artemis 2 shoot into space. So far, mission accomplished. Go around the moon and fly back. So the idea is that this is like, all right, let's go ahead and see if we can get around the moon again. Awesome. Then Artemis 3 will do a test lunar lander docking. Then that's in 2027. And then if that works, they're going to follow up with Artemis 4 and Artemis 5 missions. And those are going to be crewed lunar landing attempts in 2028. So the idea is that we're going back to the moon.
We're going back.
We're going back, baby. We didn't finish the job the last time.
Moon's haunted.
Okay, there's like speculation that one of the reasons we're doing this is because China has a geopolitical investment in like getting to the moon, because the whole idea of lunar mining and getting set up in space is something that they're interested in. And just like 50 years ago, if a labeled communist nation decides to go to the moon, America has to be like, I'm gonna do it first. Just seems to be the way these things go. But I mean, it could be something good.
Think about how much more cool space stuff we would just try to do if literally any other country said they were going to do it first.
Yeah,
I think we could have Mars colonies right now if another country just wanted to be the first one.
We
Turkey
are
just
America,
came up.
So we follow the Ricky Bobby edict of if you ain't first, you're last.
If it's not a competition, then why even bother? Like, science, gross. Oh, dunking on the Reds? Let's go, baby. USA, USA. It is pretty insane that just keeps happening over and over in history. But it has already led to some pretty awesome photos. And the Artemis 2 astronauts have just flown further away from the Earth than any other human being in history.
Good for them.
That's pretty awesome. They did also have some technical issues before like going onto their trip. Apparently there's some issues with the toilets at one point, and then if this ain't the most relatable thing ever, they used Outlook email and it wasn't functioning for a bit.
Did you watch the Space Force TV show?
Do you mean the Windows upload scene?
Yeah. Where the Windows auto updates and they can't communicate.
Yeah, it's yeah, man. That's the you don't Microslop, whatever you want to call them these days. Y'all really gotta step your game up, please. That's real funny, but it's real sad. I did have some actual Mass Effect news, sort of, but I wanted to talk about Orlando. Don, how did your tournament go?
Um, pretty well actually, better than I thought. I ended up getting top 64, so I made day 2. Ended up with a record of 8-4. Could have played better. I picked the team up kind of last minute. Not to make excuses, but my play definitely wasn't there. I think if I had a little more practice, I could have made a deeper run. But the team was really cool. It's Kyogre, Zamazenta, Iron Jugulus, Amoonguss, Landorus, Incarnate, and Chen Pao, the Weasel.
That's the guy. I mean, isn't this like the last one before we have to go to champions? Like, isn't
I
this it?
we There's LA regionals
Okay.
still coming up, but other than that, yes, this was the last one. I do think if maybe I'd played a few more games with the team, I could have done better. But it felt really strong. I'll put it in our Discord for the couple weeks that if anyone wants to play with it. Zamazenta Kyogre is like sort of a less common pairing, but I felt like they complemented each other very well into a lot of common things. Most things that handle Kyogre, Rillaboom, electric types like that, don't love Zacian, and the ones that are okay with Zacian really don't like Landorus. And then, Zacian doesn't like fire types. Fire types don't like being rained on and hit with water spouts. So they felt strong together. It was cool. I really hadn't used that pairing much before, and I had never used Zamazenta actually, but I think it is really really good.
I'm just
There
It
glad
also
is
that
ended
you
up
could
winning the
pilot
tournament as well
my
on a
Zama
different
to
team.
some glory.
Oh yes, thank you, Chris, for the beautiful shiny Zamazenta that led me to a glorious victories.
like I said, next time when you're running a team, we'll just both give you Pokemon. That's gonna get you to the top 8, brother.
There we
Power of
go.
friendship.
If there's one thing I'm good for, it is the event shinies.
Yes.
He's got the good stuff. He just keeps them in little cages. He doesn't take them out to fight, but every now and again, it's like, oh, you want Uncle Don to take you for a walk?
Basically.
You want him to go give you a taste of victory? Go on, go get him. Honestly, I'm excited to see what Champions brings. I'm a little hesitant to see like how it all shapes up, like from a play wise and how things are going to look and monetizing, but I'm hoping that things go well. Also, I did hear a rumor that mobile version of the game comes out in June. Don't know that for certain, but it would be kind of neat. Actually, how are tournaments going to work now? Do you just pull out your phone and just play?
I would
Well,
imagine
if it'll
it'll
be
be
anything like Go, they won't let you use your own phone. We can't
Okay.
use our own phones in Go.
That makes sense. You're just gonna have to get a bunch of people setting up their phones against Switch. I don't know. It feels like that might get weird at tournaments, but yeah, we'll
Yeah,
figure
I
it
wouldn't be surprised if maybe they mandated switches for tournament play.
out.
Because there's going to be a finite cap on like however many people a true tournament can accomplish as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
online stuff. So maybe they just decide that that's going to be a baked in roadblock.
Yeah, there is something a little like hilarious about some dude like rolling up with just like his like I don't know his iPhone 20 or whatever. Just like I'm just gonna come and dunk on all the other people who bought a Switch. I don't know. I find that slightly funny. The Mass Effect thing I wanted to bring up, what this came up like last week. So there was a report by this one group called the Ankler. Never heard of the site, but everyone was reporting on it, like gaming wise. So I figured I'd bring it up because it was interesting. Apparently, Amazon MGM Studios, their new head of global television, have requested that scripts for upcoming Mass Effect TV series be rewritten to appeal to, and the quote here they use is non-gamers. Like,
I
I'm
mean, yeah.
stressed. I don't know about that.
mm, the people who say stuff like this are the people who tried giving us the Halo series.
I feel
Eh,
as though it already kind of appeals to non-gamers fairly well. As we're going to talk about, the Mass Effect series has some pretty serious world building
yeah,
and
I mean,
I don't
characters.
want to make too much out of that statement though, because it's so hard to know what it means without context.
yeah, exactly. And again, a lot of people reported on it.
I was like, are
No
they going
one
to
had a
put their
lot of
stats in the show? Every episode starts with a stat allocation screen.
No, God, no. It's literally like whenever he does anything, the Paragon or Renegade symbol comes up over his head.
Yeah.
You have 60 seconds to text what scene we should go to. Should he A, like, be nice to the reporter, or B, punch him in the throat? You have 60 seconds. Text now.
I mean, we did that Bandersnatch with Black Mirror.
That's right.
Yeah, that word. I mean, oh, don't get me wrong. Funny stuff, but you're right, Chris. We don't need to read too much into it. But it would be kind of funny if the least like gamer-esque gamer like storyline would get like, it's too gamery. I don't know what to do with it. Like, it's weird. I don't know. John's right. Mass Effect is like the least gamey thing to talk about. But now that we're back on that subject, though, how did each of you play Mass Effect? What was your vibe?
Do you mean like were we jerks?
Were you a monster or were you a paragon of decency?
I have a fundamental problem where I legitimately cannot play a jerk in video games. Like,
You
I
feel bad,
genuinely
right?
feel bad doing the mean stuff, and I just can't do it in any game, not just Mass Effect.
I mean, the meanest thing I ever did was leave Ashley on Burmeier. But that was
Well,
necessary.
Oh, you mean
she was
killer?
a space racist against my boy Rex. So
Yeah, you had to choose between one or the other, and the meanest thing I
You
did was like
blow
kick
up.
Ashley. But Don's right; she was pretty xenophobic, so I don't feel terrible.
Oh, I was like, we can work on this together.
Yeah, I mean, she she was against our boy though, and anyone
Yeah.
else. She's problematic.
Shepard. Shepard.
Don, did you play like a psychopath or did you play the good boy?
I was honestly mostly for the most part the good boy, only because like I was already kind of committed. One, I didn't want to like the first time I played Mass Effect, I didn't know all about the franchise, but I knew you could actually the first Mass Effect I ever played was Mass Effect 2.
Same.
Where I fell in love with it, but then like I went back through it and I was like, oh well, these guys all liked me in the second game, so that must default to it. And I did I've done a Renegade playthrough as well, and I did think it was kind of fun. But I don't know. I defaulted to sort of the Paragon-y one. I'm a very completionist kind of person with games, so I often end up playing multiples in games like that where there's but it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to be the jerk because you're still no nonsense to get everything done. I think you, for the most part, if you're the right kind of jerk, you still get all the crew. You're just sort of like the no nonsense,
Nobody cares how nice you are if you get stuff done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Spectre. I do what I want.
There were a few sections where the super binary choice was kind of annoying. Or maybe the council can suck it, but
I think my fundamental issue with like the Paragon Renegade stuff is that it very rarely is fun to go middle of the road. Like,
well, it kind of locks you out. Like, good luck. Are we allowed to talk about spoilers? I want people to play this game.
We're very
we're like, listen up, people. If you're listening to this and you don't want to get into spoilers, go buy Mass Effect, play at least 2 or 3. Then
you can buy the Legendary Collection for probably dirt cheap.
Yeah, can someone pull up how much the Legendary Collection is on PSN right now?
Look, I played this game in high school, so
me too.
Say.
Sorry if it's spoilers.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to see how much it is now. Come on.
Yeah, it came out in 2007. We're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of this game.
It had over 40 bits of DLC.
It really did just keep going on that.
Yeah, no, on Xbox One it's $9.99.
Yeah, everyone should go stop right now and go play it. Okay. Pause. All right. Now that it's 50 hours later, welcome back. Thank you for playing the entire Mass Effect series.
Yeah, you enjoyed? Yeah, hope you had to all right. Now that they've all finished playing, go into the spoilers. What were you going to say?
Yeah, if you middle of the road it, you can't get the Quarians and the Geth, which means
Mhm.
you have, suboptimal against also, unless maybe the future was awesome and they brought back the really fun multiplayer in 3, you can't have 100% galactic readiness, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
you can't.
so. And if you get locked out of the Geth, then how on earth are you going to take my boy Legion to see the stars?
Legion was pretty great.
Does this unit have a soul?
You want to talk about
Shed a
space
tear.
races? We'll get into the Quarian Geth.
Hang on now.
Yeah,
If we're talking the worst species, we can talk straight Batarians all day. Batarians are only good for one thing, and that is being blasted into pieces.
I
The
was gonna say being
worst.
exploded.
For those who are like just caught in this moment, keep in mind there's a reason why, like I said in the beginning, people defend BioWare. It's because this game series can get you talking for ages. Combat, relationships, stories, all of it. The only and like the science stuff is really fun. What was it? There was a line that you hear in the background while these like soldiers are talking, and like to just censor the line a bit. They're talking about how you can't just fire blindly into space, and they're like, Isaac Newton is the deadliest son of a beep in space, and it was one of my favorite lines that me and my brother would quote
You do
constantly.
not eyeball it.
You do not eyeball it.
Lucas, I do put one point of order because you've been saying that this game is why we give BioWare a long leash, and I just want to amend that because this game came after quite a few other things.
Okay, but like this is the one that like really gave it. This was
I'm pretty sure Knights of the Old Republic gave them a
okay. You
long
know
No.
what?
leash.
Knights of the Old Republic. It gets its flowers. It's phenomenal. But how long did it take for get us a proper sequel?
I don't think BioWare did the sequel, did they?
Who did that one?
I don't think BioWare did too. I think they only
We'll
did
save it for when they release it again because they were trying to do that.
They
But
also did. They also did the Xbox Classic Jade Empire in 2005. Great game.
mhm.
And Baldur's Gate. So
Oh yeah, original Baldur's Gate. That'll do it.
they had
That'll do
they
it.
were pretty locked in, and then they just blew it out the water.
Yeah, the water. That's what they blew it out of. I did find when I was going through it, I found a lot of interviews about the development highs and lows when they were making the series. Not a lot of them talked about art direction or science put behind it. Like there were tons of interviews, like from way back in the day. I did find one from a Derek Watt, who is the art director for the Mass Effect series. They did an interview and said that a lot of their work, like a lot of what inspired like the look of the science stuff, like they listed Star Wars. Oh, they also listed Sid Mead's, which is like Blade Runner stuff. Weirdly enough, this was the craziest bit of lore I found. They based at least some of their art style on Final Fantasy the movie.
That's not
Which
surprising to hear.
that's not a movie you want to watch though. It's bad. It's real bad.
But artistically,
As long as it's holding still and nobody's talking and no one has the words Final Fantasy over its head, then sure. Now, the real question, when you went on a mission, obviously there's some leeway on who you bring. Who was your ride or die? Like you and me are going, and then we'll bring someone else.
Don, you go first.
All right, so I think the first one I ever played, I used I think I played an adept because I like doing for games it's either like great big armor guy or super magic-y dude. Generally, are my two sort of things. So like later playthroughs, I think I did like Sentinel or one of those. But also I just thought Krogans were sick. So Rex and then Grunt were kind of always my guys, and they complemented the Biotic well anyway. And then the second was normally a flex slot. There was a lot of Garrus. There was a lot of Tally if it was like a tech, like a Geth type of mission. Other than that, was kind of a flex slot. I would bring people who I thought would have cool dialogue as well if the mission, had any relevance, like their home world or home system and stuff.
When I was running, I also think Krogans are the coolest race. Like, and we'll talk about them in just a bit. But if I couldn't run with him, if I needed someone with some broad, Morden is just fun to listen.
Morden is very fun. Yeah, that's the thing is I do love Morden just because his dialogue is so good.
Just having him be the harm assist.
Oh, I'm playing Mass Effect tonight. I'm starting it back up.
God, you gotta love yourself having that psycho on the team. I love him so much. But I also Grunt. Like just having Grunt, like, all right, I am basically your father figure. Plus, when you read his internet search history, it's some of the best.
Oh, Grunts is that's actually one of my favorite bits of little side stuff. Side lore is the when he's like sharks,
I,
big dinosaur, Earth, big lizard.
Here it is. Okay, I think I have to find the whole
Beefheart.
list because it's
Yeah.
amazing. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Or not war, search, battle master shepherd, modified, commander shepherd, modified, commander shepherd Normandy. Search, animal fights, modified, large predators, search, Tyrannosaurus Rex, erased, Earth lizard Rex, search, dinosaurs.
This is honestly like I'm not even kidding. This is like my search history.
I do recall
Big predators.
my teams now,
Fight.
Lucas.
Oh God, what did you run?
Because I have the best teams.
Oh, of course, of course.
So Mass Effect 1 was a run of Ashley and Garrus. And the reason and I was biotic powered, and the point was that I would use the biotics to like pull people and push people, and then Garrus would just snipe them and Ashley would use brute force.
Mm-hmm.
I did like to bring a second biotic because you get to do the explosion-y combos, right?
That too. That was fun. And then Mass Effect 2 definitely used Miranda, and then I went Soldier in the second game.
Okay.
I did Miranda and what was the new Krogan? Grunt?
Oh, that's Grunt.
Yeah, I did Grunt and Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
With a similar kind of
Yeah, I played Vanguard. I had Vanguard and the Krogan shotgun. And I'm just like, no, I'm bringing the fight to you. You all can stand back.
I do not recall my Mass Effect 3 play lines, though.
Oh, it's good stuff, though. Now, as far as Krogans go, like, again, the beautiful thing about BioWare games is that people have done a wonderful job with the wiki, so you're able to learn a lot. And I will say, and I will stand by this, hot cake, cold take, doesn't matter, the Krogans did nothing wrong.
That's a bold statement.
Didn't they like
they
try
kind
to
of tried to like
the galaxy?
Yeah.
That is the Solarians' fault for giving genetically superior cavemen nuclear bombs and rocket ships. They've done what any other caveman would have done.
I don't want to say they did nothing wrong, but the response to them was a bit much.
Yeah. I am going to list some of their genetic adaptations. 240-degree vision. 1,000 eggs at a time. When not affected by the genophage, all of them fertilized. Can survive as a small colony on 55 gallons of water for 10 years. Thick. Radiation-resistant hide. Multiple hearts and testes and lungs.
I liked the pause between being thick and the radiant resistant hide.
They were two separate things.
Lucas, can I put some context here?
Yeah.
You said how many gallons of water for a
55
colony?
Gallons of water for 10 years.
Okay, the average water heater for a home is 50 gallons.
Yeah, and they apparently can just survive on that. That giant hump is like a camel hump.
Don't Krogans live like 1,000 years? I just don't understand the survival. Well, wait, it's because what's their planet name?
Tachanka.
Yeah, it's super hellhole. That's why they have so many babies, right? They're is it R selected, right? For case.
Yeah, it's R selected. Although they do seem to have some care.
Yeah, they have some care, and also they live to be like 1,000. So it's a weird.
Yeah, they can live a long, long time. And it's I didn't even mention the other part. Rudimentary nerve system, which they can't really be paralyzed. Oh, and then the blood rage that allows them to ignore pain and fight for hours. Like, this is a fusion of like frog and invertebrate reproduction, camels and their ability to have fat stored that help them store water, cockroaches for radiation durability. Like, these guys are every layer of like extreme animal adaptation rolled into one, and the Solarians, those godless amphibious nerds, gave them nukes and rocket ships. Insanity.
In the name of science.
Actually, in the name of killing the Rachni.
Oh yeah. Those things.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Rachni, but at the same time, like, no, seriously, this is not okay. Just how genetically terrifying a Krogan is. Although apparently, according to Zahid, the mercenary, if you get a knife in the frontal plate in just the right spot, you can pop it off of them, and they're really scared of anyone figuring that out.
He
But
is welcome to try.
yeah, no, I'm not putting a knife anywhere near a Krogan's line of vision, which is apparently a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
I like how his brilliant plan was like, did you know they don't like being stabbed in the face?
Weirdly enough, listening to Zahid's stories was me and my brother's like favorite like thing to sit down. It's like, oh, Grandpa Mercenary, tell us again how you almost died horribly.
I really enjoyed all the DLC characters. Him, Zaid Kasumi, and
Oh, what's his face? The Prothean?
Javik.
Javik? Oh
Yeah.
god, if we're gonna talk
He
about
was one of my favorite
you mean
characters.
just
I brought him on like every mission in 3.
he's the greatest hater to ever live. Just hating constantly, whole way talking through. Man, I loved his how awful he was.
He's like, the lizard people evolved.
Oh, you all came down from the trees? Congratulations. Like just like everything he said, it's just like, oh god, poor Liara. Just like, oh, I finally found a Prothean. He's just like, ugh.
I kind of liked. I thought it was very funny how they implemented the Protheans, because they could have easily had him be like a wise seer, and they're like, no, he's like a military grunt, and he's very racist.
He just hates everyone. Of course, though, Don, we have to talk about one of the best boys. We got to talk about our man Garrus and the Turians, because they're rad.
Yeah.
Such a cool species. And
Very cool.
I think Garrison is usually on the top of the list for like the number one like partner throughout the games.
I think so. Garrus is very high. He's kind of like the. Oh, I feel like of all the characters, him and Shepard he's like the maybe the most level of a peer almost. He had a chance to be a Spectre and he kind of didn't. Yeah, their bromance is strong. Slash,
Yeah,
I guess,
I
actual
think
romance slash general acquaintanceship, depending on how you play your Shepard.
with the Turians, they are a weird race. They're not as like terrifying as the Krogans, but apparently their planet's ecosystem had a certain amount of radiation that selectively pushed for these creatures, for most of the creatures on the planet, to evolve exoskeletons like the Turians. The Turians, their planet name is Palavine, and they are everything about them shows them as being top carnivores. Whereas we got to the top of our planet by being, predatory, but also feeding on whatever else we could find. They've got the eyes at the front, they've got the talons, they have claws. These guys are built for fighting. Also, their blood is blue like a horseshoe crab's. So I'm pretty sure their blood is copper based, which is kind of cool.
And probably used in vaccines.
Yeah. Although there's a saying in Turian society that I found was cool, where it's called if you can polish enough gizzard, which implies that they have a gizzard like a bird, which means that they have a bunch of rocks in there.
I mean, how would you polish it otherwise?
Yeah, exactly. So I just imagine like Garrus is just somewhere like before he has to eat his meal, he just has to swallow some rocks and break them down. Apparently, according to the wiki lore I was diving into, most food that humans would give them, they cannot eat or would be they would
Yes,
have an
they
allergic
are.
reaction.
They don't have DNA effectively, right? They have a
Yeah,
different
they have
amino acid base.
yeah, it's completely different. It's like
They
six
share with Quarians, I believe.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are a little bit like they're one of the only ones that have like I think it's like 6 helixes instead of a double helix.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they have some weird ones, so it just messes with them. But they're really neat. And as a species, they were the ones that we had first contact with. Which, if I had to pick first contact species for the human race, like if the Artemis 2 goes to the back of the moon and finds one of these guys, I hope it's not the Turians. I really hope it's not the Krogans. Meanwhile, the nerds, the Solarians, short-lived frog nerds is basically what I wrote in the notes. They are.
Who just does not care for the Solarians?
I don't care. I only care for one Solarian, and then just dealing with them is just like you hyperactive nerds keep shooting tech
you
guns.
care for the very model of the scientist Solarian?
He is the only model of the scientist Solarian. He is the only redeeming member of his species. The rest of them bore me or annoy me. Admittedly, Javis, when he was talking to them, said, "Oh, we used to eat these guys." But all jokes aside, the thing that makes them so quick and so smart is that due to their super high metabolism, they live fast and do everything quickly. They think fast, they have good abstract thinking, but they only live about 40 years. That's it. They kind of remind me metabolism wise of something like, I don't know, like one of those Arctic shrews, like the ones that have to keep eating or else they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't
So it's
know.
a lot of,
Maybe it's like an octopus, again, incredibly intelligent, but just like burns through it really quickly.
we haven't gotten to the octopus people yet.
Yeah, we'll get to them. But like the eggs, this was really cool. So apparently they're kind of like bees in that they have haplodiploid eggs. So your new word, your new Scrabble word for the day, kids, haplodiploidy is pretty common in the insect world. And it means that depending on if an egg is fertilized or unfertilized, it will determine if it is a male or a female. The number of chromosome sets determines if the baby is male or female. So if it's unfertilized, they'll produce a male, but if it's fertilized, they produce females, and they strictly regulate it so that the majority of their population is male.
I appreciate how much work and thought went into the eggs of all the races in Mass Effect.
I mean, for the Krogans, it made the most sense because it was a big part of their character, but they did not have to go that hard for like all the other species. I just found them to be the most interesting. Oh, I was trying to think if they're like, before we get, those are like the big races that like are much more animalistic. I think I was going to talk about the Asari, but like they're blue and they can mate with whatever they want, which is, I didn't have any animal backgrounds for that one.
Ditto.
Yeah, no, not literally.
No way, you just said it.
It's just ditto. Yeah, no.
Was that intentional, Chris?
Yeah, that was intentional.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, did you just make the
Dude,
greatest...
you didn't have to admit that. You could have walked away with the greatest L of all time, the greatest W of all time. I'm just saying. There were at least two other species. There were a couple of other species that obviously lived on the Citadel, but weren't like true like members of the council. Anyone remember the Hanar?
Yeah, where's my Hanar playthrough?
So Blasto is my favorite side character. If you guys are familiar with Blasto.
Hang on, I'm gonna look him up to see if I remember him.
Well, I won't spoil it then.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! Yes, Blasto. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. Blasto is my favorite side character in the Mass Effect universe. Like, just bar none.
Okay, when you pull up Blasto in the Mass Effect wiki, like the first pictures you see is him just blasting away with two pistols.
If I remember correctly, and it's been a very long time, I think it's in Mass Effect 2. If you're in the Citadel, you'll occasionally get like an ad. Like an ad will play for the new Blasto movie. And it's a Hanar doing a Dirty Harry impression where it's like, this one is wondering if you have shot 4 shots or 7 thermal clips or whatever. It's very good. So the Hanar are one of my favorite Mass Effect races, probably my favorite like side race in Mass Effect. They are I think it's a slur to call them jellyfish, so they're not jellyfish. But they are a relatively basically an invertebrate, think like an octopus jellyfish hybrid kind of thing. They're a fully aquatic species. They use specialized gravity fields to get around outside of water. They're known for being extremely polite, which I'll get to why that kind of makes sense in a minute. And they communicate primarily through bioluminescence, and then they use like translating software to communicate in the galactic common language with other races.
While you were describing them, I found that I put it in the comments. Like there was a Reddit that showed one of the posters for Blasto, the jellyfish stings.
This is when we find out that Dawn just has like a bunch of Blasto fanfic.
No, he's been writing it for years. I really do think it's cool that they did create a species or an alien race that was not humanoid.
Yes, I like it when the aliens are really alien. If we had more time, I'd talk about the Elcor as well. But I have a little bit more about the Hanar. So we know they communicate through bioluminescence and also some color changing that I think like things that normal stuff can't pick up. I would imagine they have very sensitive eyes. Also, the Hanar apparently have skulls.
For real?
Yes.
Like actual, like they're
I don't
just
know. I
floating
don't think
there?
it's like a human skull shape. I think maybe their made body is rigid, which makes me think the Hanar are. I could see some parallels with the Hanar and how like an octopus or a cephalopod based race could maybe ascend. So we know they use a lot of robotic assistant stuff for day to day, which you'd have to do. But we know some cephalopods like cuttlefish have a rigid, internal skeleton partially. So I could see them over time, maybe depending on their environment, having a sort of skull-esque, calcium deposit that most of their primary organs were within. And octopus are not typically the most social of animals as a general rule. They default to a lot of aggression with each other. They can be cannibalistic. So it kind of makes sense for a species descended from something like that that has a very easy capacity for interpersonal violence, I guess, given being a more solitary species originally, that they would have a very, very polite and structured social contract, sort of cut down on the instinctive urge to, not tolerate each other.
I just love the fact that they have a great sense of humor. I think that's one of the coolest things because they could have made these guys completely overly serious, like all of them. But the fact that Blasto even exists at all shows that they thought about, like, no, they don't have, they're weirdly polite and their society is different. But I love that they added this creativity to it.
Yeah, and also I would, if Mass Effect Andromeda had let me play as a Hanar, it would have been a 10 out of 10 game.
It would have definitely been better than whatever they were trying to do with the Pathfinders or whatever. Admittedly, when I played that game, the only character I cared about was the Krogan because he was over 1,000 years old and he had good stories. He was nice.
Now, the important question for our listeners, Lucas, is at what stage of evolution can we expect jellyfish to pick up guns?
They've been at it for 600 million years, man. If they were going to pick up guns, they would have done it by now.
Okay, we're safe.
Yeah, no. The octopus, on the other hand, if they can just get
The
past that whole,
Gloctopus.
yeah, if the octopus can like punch fish, like eventually they need to get over
They're
that.
they're
And
they're going to see a pistol shrimp and they're gonna have an idea.
the only thing that's holding back the octopuses from truly taking over is their life expectancy, their lack of sociability, and their inability to transfer knowledge to the next generation.
There you
Like
go.
those,
See, it pays to be nice.
Yes,
yeah,
very polite. If they were polite, they'd be there.
yeah.
They're
That
very
literally
rude.
might be like Jarvis when he saw them. Like, oh, these guys were fighting the whole time. What happened? We learned friendship. Now we have these. Pulls out 5 blasters.
That sounds like a line out of Blasto 7. Which I'm currently writing the screenplay for.
The last creature I figured we'd talk about, just because I often forgot they're around, because I also started with Mass Effect 2. I never got to play Mass Effect 1, but the Rachni had a really
Actually, the
big part.
Rachni have become one of my favorite races, like the more I've learned of the series.
They're they're fascinating.
The Rachni are
Absolutely.
great. The Rachni storyline is like one of my favorite story bits.
Like in the old lore, the Protheans found them and bred them to be warriors. Like that's
Yeah.
what they were built to do. Apparently, they were too good, and then the Protheans tried eradicating them. And then when the Citadel was doing mass expansion, they found them again. And then the Rachni were like, haha, we're all so smart, so we're going to space, we're going to mess things up. Then they got pushed back again by the Krogans. And then by the storyline, you're like, oh yeah, they're all basically extinct, right? Nope.
Not quite.
No. Apparently, they're just like hyper intelligent space ants.
But like
Like, I don't-
murder ants.
Murder ants, yeah, I think murder.
That's
Yeah, they're
ants.
really good at it. Although, if you can get them onto your side, they're really cool. They, unlike insects, they do have 4 legs, but they also have these weird tentacle things. But they have a chitinous exoskeleton. They have worker classes, soldiers, brood warriors, and of course the queen. they do communicate via pheromones and other ways of their way of communicating. It actually got pretty complicated. To the point where they can literally communicate almost telepathically with certain individuals. Their ways of perception, thinking, and communication seem to be different from that of other races and based upon a synthetic perception of sound as both sound and color. So, Rachni communication is geared towards pheromones, according to one doctor in the game, as further proof of their intelligence in organic quantum entanglement communicators. So, yeah, they're really smart bugs. The Starship Trooper people would have a field day with these guys.
That was, I mean,
But
that's. I feel like they just watched
I
Starship
find the
Troopers.
idea that a bug that can think is offensive.
Yeah, no, they're honestly, I thought it was so cool that you could actually like communicate with them because every time you see the stereotype of space bug out to murder us, they're always seen as this ravenous horde that cannot be stopped, even if they're intelligent, like the Tyranids in Warhammer 40k or the bugs in Starship Trooper or Helldivers. Like in Mass Effect, it's the only time I've ever seen it where you can actually work with them. Like if you're able to work together, they helped you in Mass Effect 3 in the construction and protection of the Citadel. Like it's
Yes.
I've
So
never seen that.
I have to say the choice in the first Mass Effect. Did either of you play the first Mass Effect? Don, you did. Lucas, you never played
I
it
went
through.
back through and played it. Yeah,
I played a little bit of it. Then I got bored and played Mass Effect 2 again.
I remember that the Rachni Queen choice is like the first time playing a game that actually made me stop and think about what I wanted to.
Yeah, I think they tried something similar when in Mass Effect 3 when they're like, "Do you want to save the Krogan population or do you want to leave it as is?" And I don't think they got anywhere close to how important that choice is. Because
It's
like
like, yeah.
anyone with a heart would have been like, "Yeah, can the Krogans have some kids?"
Well, it's different too because like you've had 3 games to build up a relationship with the Krogan. The Rachni, you've had a full game telling you how awful these things are, and then you get the Queen who's just like, we just want to go live in our little space hole and be alone. We're not going to try to kill people. Please just let us go.
And if you do, you've made a friend.
I did let them
Hooray.
go. I took a lot of thinking. I think I took
Mhm.
a full day to think it through.
I mean, it's important to think these things through. Again, this is the choices that we wanted to see in games. A lot of these RPGs, like things like Fallout, have kind of gone away from those bigger choices and tried to like, oh, we don't want you guys to feel bad about these bigger choices and have to change your whole game. It's like, no, I want that. It's a game. It's not life. Like I can go back and redo my options. It's fine. Like it's okay as long as you let people know out the gate. Yeah, your choices has impact and they will be big. Like when before they're first buying the game, then that's fine. I really hope that whatever Mass Effect they're cooking up at BioWare can get even a fraction as fun as these games were. Because even with Mass Effect 3's ending being eh, I,
Controversial.
yeah, I truly think that if you want to create like a spacefaring, high flying adventure with a cast of weirdos and lunatics, like this is like the way to go. Like I love Mass Effect. It's
Matt
so much fun.
Mass Effect 2's final mission might be the second best final mission in video games that I have played, second only to the Maw in the original Halo.
Ooh, that is a good one. Even I know about the mall, and I never had an Xbox in my life. I guess the only other question I have for y'all is that if you could bring one character back in the new Mass Effect, who would you like to bring back? We all know who dies in Mass Effect 3 canonically. So who would you like to bring back of the ones you believe should come back?
so realistically, I think Grunt makes a lot of sense. I think it's been hinted that it's Liara maybe narrating the intro to the new one. From the trailer that's now I feel like 20 years old. If it's I would like a big time skip, and if you're gonna do a big time skip, realistically, Grunt's the only other one that could easily be alive.
Agreed. I think that Grunt makes the most canonical sense
And
for
also
it.
the scene, yeah, my heart also just having Grunt back around because my heart in the scene in Mass Effect 3 when he's in the Rachni tunnels and you think they got him. Oh, dude, I was stressing for my boy.
God
Can't
no.
That was my
can't
son. That was my dumb lizard son right there.
Can't we just bring Javik back? Like, he
Yes.
just like have gone back to sleep.
Yeah,
I hope
I
he
was in the
shows up
tube,
and is once again talks about how everyone sucks.
yeah, I was so tired of everyone crying that I went back into the tube. I came out, and now they're cheering. Turns out I just hated them anyway. Anyway, good news though, I was semi-conscious, so I made a list of all the species in the galaxies and their many, many flaws. I will now read them to you.
If there's no rules, like no canonical rules for why someone is alive, however many years later, I would love to have Garrus back.
Of course.
Miranda is very fun gameplay wise. Like I like being the soldier with a good biotic, and Miranda is hands down one of the best biotics in the series.
Yeah, admittedly, when they talk about Miranda, they don't talk about her biotics that much.
And then Legion is so fun.
Legion's fun. I like how you can in 2. If you do it a certain way, you can have Legion accompany you on Tally's loyalty mission.
I did that.
And it's just really funny because she's like, I never brought Geth equipment here, and like it pans to the crowd and Legion's just sitting there with his knees tucked under his chin on the bleachers.
I did that. I literally specifically saved the Talia mission for that moment. Like, no, this is going to be funny. I'm going to bring the 2 worst options, Grunt and the robot. We need diplomacy intact. Bring the shark-loving lizard boy and the robot that is the epitome of their own hubris. This will solve the problem. Oh, man. How much Mass Effect do you think I can play before 11 o'clock tonight, before that Pokemon Champions drops?
I'm going to bed and setting an alarm.
You can probably clear the prologue.
I could probably, yeah, I'll just pick Vanguard again. Like, every time I play Mass Effect, I'm literally just going to play Vanguard again. Why would I play with biotics when I could just, like, yeah, I only need one biotic skill. Run forward, shoot, death. If anyone really, truly loves Mass Effect more, I would love to just spend another 45 to 50 minutes talking about it. But if you're listening, hopefully you have the same love for the series we do. Hopefully they do something good and proper with whatever sequel they are making, or I will scream. But overall, I'm glad that this is a game series that it's hard to find a game series like Pokemon where we're all so connected to it, and then we find Mass Effect. Like, wait, we all love this franchise.
Mass Effect 2 is the first game that I unlocked all the Xbox achievements for, and sparked a lifetime of achievement hunting.
Oh, that's what's wrong with you. Okay,
Yes.
This is what caused it.
Mass Effect 2's fault.
Well, we've got Pokemon Champions to prepare for, and hopefully next week we have something a bit more Nintendo-y. Not quite Pokemon, maybe. I had some thoughts, but for now, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night. We hope to see you guys in the next